Hi guys, so I wanted to be vulnerable about something. Of course, I revealed on my year's post that my perspective on God and my faith has definitely shifted. Therefore, I am openly and actively embracing the Christian theology and the teachings in my life, taking active steps to live out those values. And something different about my journey that I see from, other people is I didn't focus on debunking Islam. Instead, I focused on Christianity and why it was true. And it just drew me in. And I think that that's important to communicate. That's important to note because I think a lot of people will fall victim to sort of this battle that goes on between faiths. The division that's created right now in the world is politicized. A lot of it is. Yes, it's evident. And I have been very honest about this. I've been outspoken about it because it does truly hurt me when I see people being violent in the name of religion or their religion justifies some harm against other people. I'll definitely call that out. It's just, I think that a lot of what's going on right now is a mix of there being truth to those sort of events and things, and then also like a politicized aspect to it where people are now, to prove a point, they're not being genuine and they're kind of adding fuel to the fire by making claims about Islam that are not necessarily true. And that is doing more harm than good because, again, while I understand that there are very dark aspects to Islam and to the Muslim community, which is, again, what kind of pushed me away, I see innocent Muslims suffering because of this. And so I want to be mindful. I don't want to perpetuate hatred against a group of people. Rather, I want to speak the truth. I want to speak in honesty, in justice, and in fairness. I mean, Jesus, he spoke the truth. And that's why I unapologetically talk about Christianity. And I'm also going to unapologetically talk about when I see injustice being done. I'm never going to make any sort of false claim to prove my point. I try to look at things, with humility because I can always be wrong. I'm not a perfect human being. I am trying my best to get a well-rounded understanding and get as much information and knowledge as possible, be intensive in my study, because that is what's truly important here. And with this faith journey, I think the most important thing I've done so far is ignore other people and their journeys and their perspectives. I take information and I learn from it, but I take everything everyone says with a grain of salt. Because at the end of the day, my connection with God is my own. Nothing and nobody in the world can convince you more than your personal experiences, your understanding. Because if you go based off of other people's experiences or understandings, then it's kind of a form of coercion and it's not genuine. So there's a lot of comments and DMs that have thrown me off previously, especially the reverts. I'm like, well, okay, there are genuine reverts to Islam. They started out as Christian. I wonder why they left Christianity. Again, the thing is, there's multiple factors to this. Firstly, I don't want to dismiss anyone's experience. I don't want to just say that they didn't understand the faith properly, which is why they left, because that's what people say to me. Say, you left Islam or you decided to be a Christian or embrace Christianity because you didn't understand Islam properly. And that is not fair. There are people who are genuinely seeking knowledge and we're just all trying to do the best with what we have. But yeah, one of the possibilities is that maybe they didn't understand the theology properly, or that they grew up in an environment that taught them the religion in the wrong way. And they found scripture to confirm the sort of maybe twisted or perverted things that they were taught. And they thought that this is the religion. The other thing is their spiritual experiences. They may have had some experience that maybe threw them off, or they fully convinced them that faith that they chose, like Islam that they chose, is the truth. And so I don't want to dismiss that. However, if I look at them and I say, oh, well, okay, they had a spiritual experience, that means that there's truth to that for me, I would be lying to myself, right? I have used a lot of discernment and prayer. I have pushed back against so many doubts that I've had. I have literally put the doubts I had to the test, and I'm continuing to do so. I always find my way back to this one thing. And nothing really convinces me anymore against Christianity. That's the thing. And not just that, I have noticed actual changes in my life. I've definitely had some spiritual experiences, nothing crazy, nothing like what you see in those testimony stories, but definitely, there's something there. I'm feeling it. I'm seeing the fruit of it as well in my own life, in others' lives, in the community. And I feel mentally at peace. Mentally, I feel at peace. And I'm becoming a better person. That's the thing. I feel like I'm becoming a better version of myself. So to anyone who's struggling right now with faith or with exploring Christianity, because that gets you a lot of backlash, do not focus on what other people are saying, what other people are thinking, what their experiences are. Do what is authentically right for you and stress test everything. If you have doubts, if you see some verse about Paul saying this about women, stress test it. Ask. Genuinely push back against it. You'll slowly start to see. I'm hoping you do. And if you don't, that is okay too. At least you tried, and I'm going to pray for you. But I think the most beautiful thing is the fact that I came to this understanding, and it's just a very liberating feeling. And again, I don't believe in labeling myself, especially because I'm in a very fragile state right now. But there's a lot of transformation that happened, and I will share some things in the future about my belief system and some of the things that really troubled me about Islam. I'm going to share that. I'm going to do it in a way that's, again, very honest and open and not trying to perpetuate, again, any false information, hatred, and also being understanding of people and their sentiments.